Alright, today we have a comparison special. We have a Fortuner here that has RaceChip installed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dyno it with this RaceChip on. We're gonna dyno it stock, removing the RaceChip, and then we're gonna reflash it. I think you know where this is going and what the results will be, but they'll be interesting to see, and you guys can tag along. Alright, so this is the RaceChip that's installed on the Fortuner. So this is the harness, goes down here. It plugs to the fuel rail here. There you go, it plugs in here. There you go, that's the fuel rail right there. It's a bit hard to see with a camera, but it's there. So all this does is it increases the fuel pressure that goes into the injectors, because diesels are by nature pretty simple. Add fuel, it'll make power. Add air, it'll also make power. Okay, when we talk of diesel tuning, it's basically now divided into 3 types of tuning. All of this is technically tuning, because what tuning simply means is adjustments. So on one end you have, of course, ECU reflash here. On the other end you have the plug and play diesel chips, which include RaceChip, DP chip, DTP, DTE, so on and so forth. Basta D and chip. Yun. And in the middle you have piggybacks, which are obviously unit chip. What all of these plug and play chips control, they all do the same thing. They all control only one aspect, which is fuel, rail, pressure, FRP for short. What they do is they increase the fuel pressure. If you increase the fuel pressure, power goes up. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter who makes it. Lahat sila, ito yung trabaho. And this, of course, has limitations on how much you can increase the fuel pressure and how much power you will make. Now we go to the piggyback side. We have unit chip, which can control also fuel rail pressure, mass airflow, boost, throttle, injector timing. So given that we can control all these things, unit chip will always make more power than any plug and play out there. I don't give a shit who makes it. It can be anybody, it can come from Germany, it can come from Mars. As long as it's here on planet Earth, unit chip will make more power than these. Then we go to the ECU reflash, which can take all of this and add even more parameters, such as injector duration, injection start and end, EGR, torque request, so on and so forth. So power wise, this tuning solution will be most power, second best power, third best power. All of them will work, don't get me wrong. This will add power, this will add power, this will add power. The question now is, how much power do you add? Let's take a car that's apple to apples. So your RaceChip on this Fortuner, my guesstimate will be 20 to 25 horses. Unit chip, we know it'll get 30 to 35. Then with ECU reflash, we know it gets 40 to 50. Then comes the cost. Last I remember, RaceChip sells for 25. No dyno. Unit chip is 35. That's our price here. That's already with dyno. Our price for reflash as of 2020 is 25 with dyno. So obviously, pinaka hindi sulit ito. You're paying the same amount and getting half the power. Kind of dumb, right? So we're off to the dyno and we'll see exactly how much power we're making. Meron naman pala. So, this one we remove the RaceChip. This is your stock horsepower, 103. So, RaceChip is 125. 20 horses. More or less, tama. 90 to 120. This one, ito medyo malakas, 30 horse. Dito, 20 horse, peak to peak. Torque is 250 and then 325. So, a little under 100 Newton meters. Meron naman. Okay. Now we reflash. Wala eh. Okay, I guess there's no adjustment on this one. O, ganun. Tanggalin mo na yung harness. Balik mo yung original. Yung kadikit niyan, tanggalin mo na. Oh, that kind of sucks. There's no adjustment whatsoever. Apparently, there's no adjustment. So it's a blanket na pataas. The older RaceChip actually has at least 2 knobs for you to adjust.
I really don't know how did they do it, but still.
It's basically electronics eh. Ganun. Yung fuel rail pressure sensor where it's attached to works on voltage. So normally 1 to 4 volts. So for every 1 volt, there's the equivalent fuel pressure. So ang ginagawa niyan, binabawasan yung voltahe. So from 1 volt gagawin niyang 0.7 volts. So the ECU will see, uy, at 2,000 RPM, 0.7 lang, kulang yun. Taasan natin yung fuel pressure para maging 1 volt. Ayun. Whatever values that they program is all in that little chip that big inside. Okay. And that's it. That's the file written in. So these are the results. This is your stock. This is RaceChip. This is reflash. Oh. Oh. 120. So another 20 horses on top. See, we're at 142 now. Yung pinaka-peak niya. So 20 dito, another 20 dyan. Then yung torque is from 250, then 325, then 360. 355. Quite a lot more. So, yeah, benta mo na lang to sa carousel. Oh, yeah, I'm sure somebody will buy it. Sell it cheap enough, somebody will buy it. Don't worry. Madami naman pagkakasyahan to eh. And actually, it doesn't matter which in over Fortuner, 2.5 to... wait. No, this will only fit 2012 and up na Fortuner Innova kasi 6-pin siya eh. Pag yung 3-pin, yung mga first generation, pwede pa. So, yun. Mas lumit ng konti yung market. Oh well. Sige, we'll take it out and then you drive it after so you know what this feels like. So, this time naman, you'll know what the remap feels like. Yeah. Tanggal! So, there you have it, folks. Stock, RaceChip versus reflash. I don't think it's much of a issue anymore which one makes more power and which one's more sulit. Well, the things to watch out here for actually your normal maintenance items lang. Fuel filter, there's a little filter there under beside the intercooler. That one gets clogged up over time. Yung malit na ganun. So pinapalitan yun. The usual. Then the things that electronics wise breaks down after X number of 94.
Yeah.
Hindi pa naman malapit
94,000.
Based on the stuff that we've serviced, suction control valve is a wear and tear item. Fuel rail pressure sensor is also a wear and tear item. But bihira naman yun. Injectors are also another wear and tear item, but once again, even rarer.
I was planning to change the timing belt
Yes. Pag 100,000, ganun. Actually, pag 100,000, may lilitaw na ilaw dyan, timing belt.
But I have no, I don't like to wait it.
Okay, sige.
Just want it to be in early advance
Yun.
before I remove it.
I'll go out that way, kanan.
That response.
Kanan ulit.
This one is better than this one.
Kanan ulit dito, yeah. So, this one's a pretty big open road. Yan, linis. Yeah. So, aside from fuel and pressure, we also change the throttle input also para mas responsive siya.
So I have to clean or to replace it?
Which one?
The throttle?
No.
Still okay?
Yeah.
I thought I have to change.
No, your
Straight?
normal wear and tear items lang. The diesel kasi is a little bit dirtier than gasoline by nature. The other thing also, your intercooler needs cleaning ideally once a year. Di ba? May oil catch can ka?
Yeah.
Pag pinalis mo intercooler, lalabas dyan itim.
I see.
Maski may oil catch can ka, may langis na naiipon doon sa loob.
Yeah. That's also normal.
Yeah. And then exhaust gas recirculating valve we already blocked, so it will never open again and it will never trigger check engine light. Stoplight kanan. Actually, the corner before the stoplight. Yeah, this one, Giro has.
That's a good response.
Yep.
That before.
This is good for a long drive.
Yeah, because I really like long trip.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Sometimes I go to Mindanao by means of road.
Huh? Okay.
Alone.
Alone?
Yeah.
Ayos
I don't have an extra driver.
Ilang araw yun?
I don't like it. I just feel it to. It's better to drive alone.
Okay. You're one of those. This is the funny part about me. For a guy who has a car shop that does a lot of performance, I hate long drives.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like long driving. I'd rather sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some people do that.
Yep.
They don't like really like especially traffic. But for me, sorry.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like to drive.
Good.
Since I was a kid.
At least now, definitely this is gonna be a better drive
Yeah.
than before.
I was also planning about the muffler.
The exhaust, yeah.
The
Sige,
exhaust.
then you just let me know when you want to
Yeah.
install. It takes about half a day to take out the exhaust and then install it. It'll have more sound than this, so mas macho ng konti yung tunog.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit,
yeah.
noisier?
Louder.
Louder, yeah?
Louder, yeah.
That's the problem. I really don't like it, especially when it's
sige.
like a sports car.
No, it will not be like that.
No.
No. Diesels will never sound like sports cars. They will never
Yeah.
sound like annoying Civics on the road. That's not going to
like
happen.
that.
Kung
Something
baga,
like
whatever this sound is, give or take about 15% more pag inupakan mo.
Okay.
Okay lang yun.
Okay. Still manageable.
Next one.
Okay. So,
Then give or take, if you drive normally, you should see about 8 to 10% better mileage.
yeah. In city driving.
Yeah, in city driving because you don't tend to step on it na
Yeah.
mas malalim no more.
You can only step on it during highway, like going to province.
Right now, ECQ, pwede pa. Quarantine, not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. Just park it here. Now comes the hard part, paying.
Yeah, no problem.
Sulit naman eh.
Sulit.
No.
Coming from what country is SpeedLab? From China? Or?
No. It's mixed here. Give you a pretty brief history of it. You'll be surprised where it comes from. Reflash is basically software. The easiest analogy that you can get is a cell phone, whether it's Apple or Android. Sa loob niyan, may operating system. Reflash is basically taking this operating system out of the phone, modifying it, and loading it back again. So same thing. So the original operating system comes from not actually Toyota or any of the manufacturers. It comes from the ECU manufacturers, which is on your Fortuner is Denso. For most European cars, it's Bosch, Continental, Siemens. And then for Honda, it's Keihin. Some smaller extent, Matsushita. But ito yung big three. Lagi yan. So, ang ginagawa ng Reflash community is the same as the people who jailbreak iOS. Yun yung community niya. Saan nag-originate itong mga to? Who the fuck knows? But most of these guys are Russian. Russian. No, it's not the Chinese. It's the Russians who do it. Pero in the Reflash software category, the most sikat and most pirated and bootleg is a company called Alien Tech. This is Italian. So they have access to the European market, which gives them that, and then ito yung isa. The big three ECUs. And they do also Denso, pero very limited. Then the software that we use, PCM Flash and BitEdit, these are Russian. Yeah. Then there's another software we use, WinOls. This is German.
German is a good one.
Yeah, this is good one. Ito yung pinakamahirap gamitin. Ito, pag tinignan mo yung file, hindi ka bibigyan ng numero. Bibigyan ka ganyan. Graph talaga. So, if you want to have it in a format that's understandable by tao, bayad ka. Ito rin may bayad. That's always the case. May bayad yan. So, this one, when we buy the file from these guys, yung original file, may bayad din yun.
A little bit.
A little bit. Tapos yung protocol to read and write, bayad din yan. Ito naman, may subscription siya every year, bayad yan. So it's not completely free. It's not Photoshop. Yung Photoshop, you can pirate it anywhere and AutoCAD. This one is not. May bayad to. And this one, may bayad din siya, pero yung acquisition cost na, the software, mahal. I think WinOS, I paid something like euros. Just for that. 60. And pretty much all of these software, halos ganun din yung presyo. Wala pang equipment yan. See? So, it's not kasi may mga smart ass lalo pag bata. Pag nagre-reflash ka, di ba, wala nang cost sa'yo yan, libre na di ba? Wala naman, kasi wala siya nakikita binabayaran pero hindi nga ganun yun. So sabi ko sa kanya, ganun na, kung ganun, sige, let's go back to yun. Photoshop, yun. May pirated kaya yan. Abay ka nagbabayad ng malaking pera sa architect at the graphic designer. Kung ganun, ikaw gumawa.
Babayaran mo doon.
Yung talent ng utak. Tapos nung sinabi ko yan, naintindihan na niya. Kasi ang balak niya kasi dito, hihingi ng discount. Wala naman daw cost sa amin, baka pa-discount na lang.
Kasi parang...
mukhang mabilis lang So, we make it look very easy.
Kasi yun nakita ko, yung sa Unity, meron kayong nilalagay pa sa besides
sa Unity may program, may software din yun. Because Unity, for all intents and purposes, is a translator. So what it does, it takes the voltage signals from the ECU, it goes through the unit chip, then it throws it back into the engine. Then this one's connected to our laptop. So we make all the changes here. Kaya pag tinignan mo yung unit chip na software, mukha din siyang Excel. lahat ng tuning software in the world pretty much looks like an Excel file.
I saw it in your YouTube.
Yun, ganun.
Like Excel.
Yeah. Even the one I'm using right now for yours, Excel. Yun nga. The trick is understanding what that Excel file means and what those numbers do.
You have to select this one. You have to adjust.
Yeah. So, may tuition fee yun, meaning on our part na, sige, taasan natin to, ano mangyayari. Babaan natin to, ano mangyayari. Tapos, sige, taasan natin. Pag sobrang sagad, magche-check engine yan.
Yeah. Not always the problem.
So, you need to know what's the limit also of what you can adjust, because you can adjust it so much that the sensors, particularly the map sensor, this reads pressure kasi you can make the boost and the fuel so high, it will trigger a check engine because this thing works on voltage, let's say 1 to 4 volts. Beyond 4 volts, let's say 4.2 volts, 4.1 volts, pag nakita ng ECU yan, check engine yan. So, we can increase the fuel so much, it will trigger this scenario. That part we also know, sagad na, hindi na kaya basahin. Physically, hindi na kaya basahin to anything beyond that. So, back off kami.
It's good to know.
Yep.
Anyway,
All right, thank you. Sige.